Dragon Adventure. So in this video, I will be talking about Kings Peak and how I did it in a day. Not really how I did it, but I would just be showing you pictures from when we did it in a day. And here on AllTrails, you can see the map of Kings Peak. It says 26.8 miles, but when we recorded it on the phone, it really was around 30 to 32. And then afterwards, I ended up going to South Kings, and I will show you some images of that too. But first, let's get straight into some of the images now that you've seen the map and what it kind of looks like. So here we go. When I first started, it was around 6 in the morning, and it was pretty much like this, and then it started to get a little bit brighter. And there was also this very cool bridge that I just thought was worth putting in the photos of this video. And then there was just a bunch of cool shots that I thought. And here is one right here of the trail. And then right here, this one with the wood, I just thought that was super cool part of the trail. And then there was also some cool flowers that were kind of unique every once in a while. And then this was a cool shot with the sun about to come over the peak, or a peak, because that was not Kings. And then as soon as the sun came up, the atmosphere was immediately different, as you could just see. And this right here is a view of the trail when you turned around. And then we start getting near Gunsight Pass, which is like kind of the saddle, but then you have to go back down and then you go back up. So right here is Gunsight Pass, and then this next one right here is when you look down to where you have to go down to get back up. And then this is not actually the peak. You can't see the peak most of the hike until you get like right there. But something that was really cool was both the flower that you could see right there, but another thing that was really cool were all these sheep. There was a whole bunch of sheep when you went down into Gunsight Pass and then started making your way down to go back up again. But this part was very cool because there was a lot of sheep and there was even some dogs up there. Unfortunately, we, as in the group that I was with, didn't get any footage of the dogs, which is kind of a bummer, but it was still really cool nonetheless, and I'm glad we got some sheep footage. And the people that I was with, we kind of split into separate groups. I went and did it, and then I ended up meeting them back at Kings Peak because I ended up doing South Kings, which I will show you in a bit. But for now, here is the rest of the sheep running away, and now back to some of the images. So here's right here when we're starting to go back up, and then up here is where you are most of the way up. But this looks right there is the peak, but it's very deceiving because where that red arrow is, you have about 1,000 feet in elevation to go, and that part, it takes about an hour to just go less than a mile. And those were sheep that were also up here at the very top, or near the very top. But right there is the final ridge that I was talking about with the 1,000 feet in elevation. But once you get up here, you have this amazing view that you can see in this very cool image that I thought was, at least I thought it was very cool. But then you could see this one, and as you could see it scrolling up, right where this red arrow appears is South Kings Peak. This is what I did while waiting for the group I was with to get to the top. And then I made it back over and they just barely arrived. But now going on to South Kings after I show you these last two images. And that's just a Kings Peak sign, which was kind of cool showing the elevation gain, or the elevation that you're at. But now to South Kings. So this one's only a tad bit shorter than Kings Peak, and here's a very cool panoramic shot of South Kings Peak. But now I'm going to go over to a video that I caught on top of South Kings Peak, and just a fair warning, it was very windy up there, so that very loud noise that you're about to hear is the wind. So let's hop into that. There's Kings right there! Now I've got to hurry back over there. was a clip of me actually on the top of South Kings. It's just a little bit shorter in elevation, probably about an extra mile or two there and back from Kings Peak, which is where that red arrow is. That is what the red arrow is just showing where Kings Peak is. And from that live recording, I had to quickly get back over there because I had thought I had seen the group I was with already get to the top, but really they hadn't even been up there by the time I got back. So I ended up actually getting to be on the top with them when they got up there, which was pretty cool. And then on the way back down, there was actually some moose, which was very cool to see. And here is a better shot of those moose, but other than that, that pretty much does it for this Kings Peak trip. If you want to know how long it took about 13 hours all the way there and back, including going to South Kings Peak. It was a very fun hike. I would recommend it if you're ever in the area. It is the tallest peak in Utah, so if you search that on the internet, then you probably will find it. But anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and bye!